Her hair grew faster than anyone had ever seen. By the time she was 19, it touched the ground. A month later it was dragging behind her like a heavy rope. Dima lived in a small town in eastern Nigeria where people noticed everything. At first, her hair was a source of pride. Women asked what kind of oil she used. Men joked about marrying her for it. But it did not stop. Every week she cut it, and every week it grew back twice as long. Soon she could not hide it. Her mother started burning the cut hair because neighbors said someone could use it for witchcraft. The rumors turned into suspicion. People avoided her in the streets. When Dima walked past, boys shouted after her, calling her a spirit. Her father told her to stay inside. But inside the house the hair still spread. It coiled through the rooms, tangled around chairs, clogged the bathroom and filled bags that no one knew where to throw. The weight of it began to hurt her back. She tied it in knots and wrapped it with cloth, and even tried burning the roots with hot combs. But the hair refused to stop. She could no longer sleep well, strands pulled at her scalp when she turned her head. Doctors in the nearest city shaved it off completely, leaving her scalp raw and sore. She came home relieved. But by the next week her hair was back, thicker and faster than before. The doctors said they had never seen anything like it. Meanwhile, her parents had started fighting about what to do with her. Some relatives said she should see a pastor, others, a traditional healer, others, a specialist abroad. But no one wanted to pay. Everyone wanted her hidden, so she stayed in her room, trapped by something that looked beautiful from the outside but was slowly breaking her body. The sound of scissors, razors, and combs filled her days. Still, no matter what she cut, burned, or threw away, by morning her head carried more. Her hair could not stop growing, and no one around her could stop treating it like a curse. One morning, when there was a knock on her door, her mother pushed it open and told her there were people waiting outside. Dima forced herself up, dragging the heavy strands with her. When she stepped outside she saw a strange man and woman, the kind of people she only saw on television, dressed in sharp suits, their faces unreadable. The woman held a black folder in her hand and the man gave a polite bow. The woman opened the folder and flipped it around. Inside was a picture of Dima, a picture of her walking in the market. She had never posed for it, she had never seen it. "This is you," the woman said flatly. "The world has already seen it too." The man's voice was calm, too calm. He explained that their company specialized in human hair products, and hers was unlike anything they had ever encountered. They wanted to employ her. They would pay her, house her, even send money to her family. But most importantly, they claimed they could one day cure her. At the word cure, Dima's mother paid close attention. She turned to her daughter with eyes full of hope. Finally, someone was offering a way out of the nightmare. But Dima did not trust them. She shook her head, clutching her hair like it was a chain. "I just want it gone," she whispered. "All of it gone." The woman smiled politely, but her eyes stayed sharp. "Yes, we understand. There is a solution, but it can only be done after a contract with us. 2 years. In the meantime you will live in comfort. We will handle the hair and when your time is complete, you will be cured." Her father came out then and listened to everyone. He heard the money, he heard the promise of a cure, and he told her this was her chance. He told her to sign. She refused at first and asked to hear from a doctor directly. The company agreed, arranged her visa and flew her to China. At the hospital, doctors confirmed there was a cure, rare but possible, and gave her drugs to ease the headache until the 2 years were over. That assurance was enough, and she finally signed the contract. Life changed quickly. She was given a luxury apartment, money was sent to her parents, and every week workers came to cut her hair, carrying away bundles that became profit for the company. Dima was rich and well cared for, but the hair kept growing and the pain never left. As the months passed, the medication grew weaker, the headaches returned stronger than before, and each night she lay awake clutching her head, waiting for the contract to end. The cure was close, yet doubt began to creep in. 2 years later, Dima walked into the director's office expecting freedom. She told herself she had survived the worst and that the cure was finally here. When she demanded it, the director leaned back in his chair and looked at her as if he had never heard of such a promise. The director told Dima the cure existed but would not be given yet. He even showed it to her and claimed he needed her for at least another year. The truth became clear: the company never planned to let her go. The director told himself the cure would end her hair growth forever and with it their profit. She was not an employee, she was raw material. Her phone was taken. Instead of treatment, she was handed painkillers under a nurse's watch. The pills dulled the pain for hours, never enough. Her apartment turned into a cage, guards shadowing her every move. Workers still came weekly to cut her hair, hauling away crates heavier each time. She knew they were shipping her freedom piece by piece. Her health collapsed. The headache grew unbearable. Soon she was transferred to a private ward in the hospital under constant guard. She studied everything. The guard by her door kept his gun low at his hip. The doctor who checked her often carried the cure she had seen before. Dima knew she didn't have a year left, she barely had weeks. One afternoon, after a doctor finished his check and turned to leave, Dima clutched her head and screamed. The guard rushed closer. With a burst of desperation she snatched the gun from his hip and pointed it at both of them. She forced the doctor and the guard ahead of her into the secured office opposite her ward. Inside she demanded the cure. The cure was placed in her hands. She drank it carefully, never lowering the weapon. The world sprawled almost immediately and she collapsed before she could feel relief. When she opened her eyes again, everything was different. The air was hot, the voices thick with a familiar accent. She was no longer in China, she was in Nigeria. The company had sent her back quietly, discharging her once she became useless to them. Her family welcomed her home. She had savings to rebuild her life. Her hair shed day by day until nothing was left. Her head was smooth, and the headaches were gone. She was bald, but she was finally free. If you found this video very interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful stories that stay with you long after they end.